Hey, what's up, gamers? This is Skelemistic. I am once again in Walrusburg, down Polaris way. Not really to talk to you about Polaris. Let's face it. All the bad guys have been beat up on. Head and shoulders have been knocked about. All the good guys have been saved. Most all of us have gotten our gear that we wanted from this place and said, okay, that's enough of that. Let's go back to PvP or crafting or gardening or whatever it was that we were doing before the Polaris hype became what it was. However, the reason I'm here at Polaris today was I had a fellow wizard that made me think about some things. And, well, I have a hard enough time thinking as it is. You guys know that. And when someone does that, I really have to respond. A friend of mine, Pebble Beach Wizard, by the way, I'm going to make sure that I link the article in question and his channel in my description here so you guys can go and check him out because I really, really appreciate some well thought out writing. And if his article is that good, his channel has got to be just as good. So if I were you, I would go there and check that out. Of course, after you check this one out. Wait till after this one's done. Anyway, as I was saying, we've done Polaris, but big old fat cop, he mentioned Empyrea and Mirage. He mentioned hidden lands and broken shores, and we haven't seen those yet. Now, there's already, even though the Polaris hype has died down, by the way, while I'm going here, if you guys don't want, the crafter enemy must collect all reagents. There we go. Side note, sorry. Anyhow, as I was saying, we haven't done all of this yet, and I'm going to tell you what I think is going on. Some of it goes with Pebble Beach's article. I agree with some of his things, some of his information, but I think that my theory might just differ a little bit on some actually rather important content. As we know from the Polaris area, the first child was a rat, and there are 3 children. The rat, the bat, and the scorpion. Now, Mirage, we already know, is pretty much going to be a desert land from that student in Wisteria. What was her name? Dunestrider? Was it Nalia Dunestrider? That sounds about right. Anyway, we know it's going to be a desert land. And between a bat and a scorpion, I would pick the scorpion for the desert land, of course. Now, during the course of this Polaris bit, that dog explorer that Pebble was talking about mentioned the scorpion, the bat, and the rat, and all that bit. But he said something other about the scorpion stealing the sun. Now, okay, that makes sense. The scorpion stealing the sun in Mirage. Now, if you go word for word how old Cobb listed it, it's going to be Polaris, Empyrea, and then Mirage. But I think that it's not going to be Polaris, Empyrea, and Mirage. I think that it's going to be Polaris, then Mirage, and then Empyrea, and here's why. I think that what's going to happen is that we had Polaris, and now we're going to go to Mirage, and the Scorpion is going towards the end content, the Scorpion is going to steal the sun and put everything into darkness. This is usually how these heroic stories work. You know, at the beginning, the bad guys have the upper hand, and the good guys have to bust some buns to clear that problem out and fix everything and make it right again. So what I think the order of this is going to be is Polaris, then Mirage, then Empyrea. In Mirage, we're going to have a long, long battle like we did before, chasing the scorpion child all over the countryside and doing like we did before with the rat, which was going here, hither and thither and yonder, and never quite catching him. And then at the end of that content, for whatever reason, the scorpion is going to succeed, and he's going to steal the sun and put us into darkness. Which is going to lead us to the third world, Empyrea. Empyrea is supposed to be a sky world, and the child for that is a bat. Now, bats operate in the sky, and they operate in darkness. So, that's what I'm kind of thinking is going to happen here, as far as the general storyline goes. As far as fine details, well, KingsIsle doesn't tell me anything more ahead of time than they tell you guys. They really don't. I know some of you guys think that I have like a LoJack on KingsIsle somewhere, but I really don't. So the fine details are... Oh, look. Gotta grab that. So the fine details are still as hidden to me as they are to you. But I think, given the clues and the information that we already have, that's going to be the general storyline. We're going to go from Polaris here, and then we're going to get our information about Mirage, and we're going to go and fool about there and chase this scorpion child around and doing our thing there and having all kinds of fun doing it and complaining about the crappy gear drops. Sorry, I had to slip that in there. and all the other things that we ordinarily do. But at the end of the day, Mr. Scorpion Child Dude is going to manage to steal the sun and screw up our whole program until Empyrea, where it's already dark and the Bat's got his job. He's taking over everything and doing his thing in the dark. And then we're going to come in as the heroes of the day and find some way to reestablish the sun or turn on the lights or pay the power bill or whatever it was we were supposed to do to get some lights back on this place. That's what I think is going to happen as far as a general timeline. Now, I'm going to whisper this part because it's a secret. There have been rumors that Mirage will be out as early as July. Now that I'm done whispering that, don't you believe it? So far, as I know right now, it's not confirmed. It is just a rumor. And King's Isle is notorious for hype, and taking their time and dragging it out and making you suffer before the actual content comes. So maybe it will be in July and maybe it won't. I would say look forward to it with hope, but don't get your hopes too far up. In any case, though, that all being said, that's what I think the general timeline and storyline is for this is going to be and how they're going to do with this. If you guys have any ideas, bits of information that maybe I don't know about, or any tidbit of knowledge that, hey, would help this thing along, by all means, share it with me in the comments, and hey, I'll share it with Pebs if you don't happen to see it. And we'll try to put it all together, and we'll see if we can't be detectives and solve this whole thing before they even bring it out, all right? Oh, my goodness. Guys, until next time, smash my like button. I could really use it. And whatever else you do, always love the game. Peace. Hey, what's up, gamers? Skull Mystic. I am here today in Willow Haven, and behind me is a monstrous mountain of presents, because I am here to tell you the details for the ring and the new giveaway. Now, I know a lot of you have been waiting all month long for this to happen. And you probably want to know where